Dream 1. I desperately want to leave the house for a hunt of wild boar. The sun is in the midst of setting. There is a childhood friend in my company. Quite the mess these days. He is a bit on the fat side and has lost a great portion of that which was once special about himself. We load the guns. We are ready. Then my father starts delaying us, almost as if he wants to stop a piece of himself from killing. We finally make it outside. All of a sudden, an orchestra of automatic long rifles discharging, with the occasional robust baritone song from a shotgun, fills the space around us. This melee of fire continues for about 30 seconds. This new shooting gallery is the place where we are headed. To make our way with the wild boar. A quick walk from the house and we would be there, through some tall half-dried grasses that come up to our noses, and then across a manicured lawn of native grasses. We get to the bridge of earth, with large zinc-plated pipe passing through. The sound of the end of summer is very present, with the stream barely making it by, leaving a queer echo in the culvert where we stand. I look up into the hillside and see a man sticking the last of 20 or so black flags into the ground to mark where they had so swiftly taken the lives of so many wild boar. The members of this wild shooting party seemed to be some kind of high-roller Mexican gangsters who had made their way into the wild with a reverence for nothing. They were already making their way. They are so far away, and with their kill in hand, loaded like lumber on the back of a trailer pulled by a machine made for steep all-terrain anything. These men had just violated a space very sacred to me. I refrained from any confrontation and let them disappear into the horizon. There are several spring piglets running wild and confused by the extermination of their kind. I shoot several times at close range with my shot that is always taken with great conviction and precision. I miss every time. This is me scaring the likes of what's left of these recently attacked beings back into the wild. Before I've taken my eye from the open sight of my small ranch rifle, a mountain lion the size of an African lion crosses. He leaps from a large granite boulder and goes upward into the grove of oaks whose base I stand at. I scan upwards quickly and quietly from the understory of these trees, ready at any moment to take a shot if necessary. The next thing I find myself doing is squeezing the trigger of my .357 Magnum Timberwolf, pumping out spent shells and pumping fresh ones into the chamber as fast as I can, while holding my head on this giant cat pouncing on me from the canopy of a tall, mild in girth, wiry live oak tree. I fall to my back upon the impact of this great creature who is protecting his kingdom from the likes of the alien man with his tools of destruction. I took 3 shots. I'm not dead. The rigor mortis is kicking in as I feel the massive jaw of this king of all creatures tense up, his teeth covered in blood against my cheek, some of which belongs to me. My ribs are broken, and I'm having trouble breathing. My childhood friend has pissed himself, and maybe more, but I cannot tell as my nose is filled with giant feline blood. He is in shock, and it takes him a minute to even come close enough to think about helping me. I can't move. There's roughly 450 pounds of dead weight on top of me, and its reflexes charging giant claws into all parts of my body. The blood and dust for which I'm covered in are a house for the sensation of the surge I felt holding this cat as he left this world. My plump amigo is of no help. My breathing begins to come back to somewhat of a regular pace. I don't think I'm going to pass out anymore. The dust and blood have begun to dry onto my face like a scab. Pretty soon, there are tears carving a system of canals through my face paint. Underneath my back, flowing through a large pipe, the water from the mountains that are no longer visible as day has left. I start losing it and really crying and hitting and hugging this giant cat on top of me. He was everything I loved about life. about the life where intuition resides as a king, and where the creations of God were not thought out by some highly evolved thing with 2 legs that drove things with 4 wheels powered by the death of the life 10 million years ago. I had just killed my hero, but I could not let him take my life. But I did. 15 minutes later, my father, the sheriff, and the fire chief covered me with a blanket. My mother screaming, had fallen to her knees and then to the ground. My father waded into the nearby pond with both hands on his head and started crying with all of the blood in his body. His hands shaking more than they ever had, he dipped them into the pond and pulled them out and watched the water drip in dangles off his fingers into the moonlit pond. And now I am the music you are listening to right now.